radio.
Flitter, it's you and the senorita. Woofer blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Back in the mama seat, the top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme sayer. Running game like a cheater, I'm balling like Derek Jeter. Complete on the marathon, I mean the very last meter. Competition defeated, cause you're my voice is just sweeter. So come on, follow the leader, plus I got the dopest of sneakers.
So I'm trying to find the story so I can not misquote it. Oh, here we go. Just because this is one of those situations where you want to be sure that what you're saying is accurate. Because these things are important. These things are not to be made light of. And I feel as though a lot of people are making light of it. A lot of people are saying that Sarah Palin blamed her son's domestic violence arrest on Obama. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with it, but let's just take a refresher course here for a second. While Sarah Palin was endorsing Donald Trump, and it's important to dig into this a little bit more because... Well, it's important to dig into this a little bit more because a lot of people read the headline. And the headline says, Palin blames her son's domestic violence arrest on Obama. And a lot of people don't dig any deeper than that. But this is what happened. While Sarah Palin was endorsing Donald Trump at a rally this past Tuesday just gone by, she had some trouble at home. Her 26-year-old son, Track, was arrested for domestic violence. Track's girlfriend says that he punched her, kicked her, threw her phone when she tried to call the cops, cocked an assault rifle, and threatened to kill himself. Apparently, and this part is conjecture, and I want to be clear on this, he said something along the lines of, "You think I won't do it?" He was arrested, and his blood alcohol level was over twice the legal limit. Now, Sarah didn't go home to deal with it, but she did do another Trump rally and talked about Track's PTSD and how it's President Obama's fault, saying, quote, "My son, like so many others, they come back from serving in the military a bit different. They come back hardened. It's a shame that our military personnel even have to question, have to wonder." Now, I found myself torn on this because you know how this show does a very, very sort of, what we try and do on this show is we try and present, we advocate for humanity. That's what we do on this show. Look, a lot of people think that Donald Trump is a Hitler. People say it often enough. Donald Trump's a Hitler. And a lot of people think Donald Trump would make the single greatest president on the face of the planet that America has ever seen, that would make America great again. And what we do on this show is we recognize that all of us that have an opinion are Americans and are worthy of respect. So what we do is we try and understand points of view, and we try and bring people together, and we try to point out the fact that, generally speaking, what the average American wants is, well, we all want more or less the same thing. We want a job that makes us in some way, shape, or form financially stable, puts a roof over our head, allows us to provide. We all want to be able to work hard to give the best that we can to the people that matter the most. We want to be able to, like I said, have roofs, provide, give our kids a good chance, maybe have a house with a yard, whatever the case may be. The, and I quote, American dream looks pretty similar for a lot of people. And we just have very different ways, very different ideas about what the best way to get to that is. But if we bear in mind that the picture that we paint in our heads about what we want our America to look like is sort of the same, maybe we can come from a place of respect when we talk to people that think differently from us and understand they're just trying to get to the same place. And you never know. We might actually learn something from one another instead of getting so entrenched, instead of battling. That's sort of the place this show operates from. Now, with Sarah Palin I get that some folks like her. But one time I'm not able to play devil's advocate is when it involves Sarah Palin. I happen to think she's a dangerous idiot. Yet I found myself torn on this one because she addresses something very real. And I think in some ways she's right. Our president doesn't care enough about our troops. But you know what? It's not limited to this administration. This is a story as old as America. It's not a matter of right, left, Republican, Democrat, whatever the case may be. Throughout the history of America, our government has a glorious track record of sending kids off to die. And those that do come home, not looking after them properly. They've got scars on the inside and the outside. And it's a statistic that we trot out regularly. But there's a humongous problem with veteran suicide. There's a humongous problem with veteran homelessness. And the fact that these people sign up to lay their lives on the line for our freedoms and then aren't looked after by our government when they come home is a crime. And so in that respect, I find myself in this strange situation where I go, oh, everyone's making fun of Sarah Palin for this, but I happen to think she's right. Now, does it excuse her son's actions? Done a little bit of work with some PTSD organizations. I understand a little bit about what it's like and what it involves. And I was like, I'd really like to say some stuff about this on the air. But then I realized I'm not that guy. I'm not. I don't deserve to say anything about this on the air. I haven't dealt with it firsthand. And there's an incredibly well thought out open letter written by a guy who was a Marine and a U.S. Navy officer who took Sarah Palin to task over this. And I want you to listen with an open mind. And whether you agree with him, whether you agree with me, whether you agree with Sarah Palin, I want you to weigh in. At ADSXE is where you can tweet me or even email me. If you don't want something out on the interwebs or you feel like you have more characters worth to say, email me, ad@iheartradio.com, and we'll get to exactly what this veteran wrote to Sarah Palin next. Thank you so much for joining us.
Let's start the show. Hot 1, hot 2, hot 3, hot AZ from your radio live and uncut. Tonight, you're cutting loose and having fun. Cause that's my job and my job's about to get done. Yeah.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
Every day you're going and working, running that rat race and that pace and that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over, yeah. I do what I want.
So if you're just joining us, a lot of people are saying that Sarah Palin blamed her son's domestic violence arrest on Obama. She talked the other day about her son's domestic violence arrest, said it was caused by PTSD and President Obama because he doesn't do enough to support the military. Can open worms everywhere. And I was thinking to myself, this is something that we should address on the show, but who am I? Have I ever been in the military? No. Do I know some folks that have been in the military? Yeah. Does that make me in any way, shape, or form an authority on this? Have I ever dealt with PTSD? I've got veteran friends that I had to pick up off the floor at clubs because they were crawling across it on their bellies, thinking they were back in combat. But I still don't understand what it's all about. I have no idea what goes through the heads and hearts and minds of someone that's dealing with that particular situation. And there's a guy called Chris Mark who wrote an open letter to Sarah Palin. Have a listen. Let me know what you think. He said, "Dear Mrs. Palin, I am a former U.S. Marine and U.S. Navy officer with a combat action ribbon, as well as service-connected disabilities. I am also a Republican. I've also served with and am friends with dozens of combat veterans who suffer daily from various injuries and wounds to include PTSD. I recently read your comments related to PTSD in which you attempted to excuse your son's arrest on domestic abuse charges and firearm charges by referencing his supposed PTSD. Based upon your previous comments, I'm not surprised that you would choose to use this very serious condition as a political football and once again attempt to divert blame from your own family's abhorrent, violent behavior. In 2014, your entire family was involved in a late-night drunken brawl at a party in which Track Palin, the accused domestic abuser, was involved in a bloody fight. While you publicly stated how proud you were at your children's violent actions, maybe this should have been a sign that Track has a problem. It is certainly curious that you did not feel the need to reference his supposed PTSD in this situation and instead stated, 'My kid's defense of family makes my heart sore.' Maybe instead of encouraging Track's violence, you should have taken the opportunity to get him help. Maybe instead of being the result of PTSD, your son was simply trying to uphold the stated Palin family values and make your heart sore by abusing a woman. PTSD is stigmatized in the media and not well understood by the general public. An estimated 22 veterans commit suicide every day in the United States. This is nearly 8,000 veterans who take their lives every year. Senator Richard Blumenthal stated every day in the United States, 22 veterans succumb to suicide, losing their personal battle to invisible wounds of war. Veterans who have willingly given so much in service of their country should not have to bear the burden of being further stigmatized by your ignorant or foolish statements. While I do not propose to speak for all veterans, I'm clearly not alone in my views regarding your unfortunate statements. They were unfortunate for the many veterans who face further disdain and discrimination based upon your inaccurate and ignorant portrayal of those who suffer with PTSD as well as the causes of the condition. While I would personally prefer that you simply avoid public life and simply fade away if you insist on trying to use your celebrity status for a cause, please educate yourself on the facts of PTSD and try to help veterans by using your significant influence in a more productive and less political manner. There are a number of veterans organizations to which you can donate time, money, and energy to make a difference. Two organizations you may want to consider is the Marine Reconnaissance Foundation and the Recon and Sniper Foundation. Regards, Chris Mark. Which really, I think, says it better than any one of us who aren't speaking from experience could say. Already gotten some feedback. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Someone says, very well written. Also, there are other things that say her son didn't actually see combat, so she could possibly be lying about the PTSD. I don't know that you have to see combat to suffer from PTSD. I think it can be experiential, but yeah, no, apparently he didn't see combat. I don't know. I don't want to float that idea out there without it being backed up, but that's interesting. Someone else weighed in and said, I feel like he was clear and well-spoken. He emphasized educating oneself on the true effects of PTSD, which I have witnessed from my father who suffers from it. He is a Vietnam-era soldier and doing what it takes to get help for a loved one who suffers from this condition. There is a difference between suffering from PTSD and being an abusive partner. One does not equal the other. Christopher Clark weighed in saying, I think Palin is an idiot. I'm a conservative. Plenty of people have PTSD and they don't assault anyone. She's making excuses for her son's actions. There is never an excuse for a man to hit or threaten a woman, period. And I think that about wraps that. Thank you, Chris Clark. There is never an excuse for a man to hit and threaten a woman, period. All right. Kind of a tough way to start a Monday. We should probably have some fun when we get back, right? Yeah, let's have some fun. If you're dealing with the stress of the job, have you ever thought of excusing yourself for a little five-fingered relief? Fire off some knuckle children? Because apparently the vast majority of men do that at work. What? How do we know this? You'll find out next.
Sunshine, come on, it's gonna change your beauty.
most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah.
Apparently, the bathrooms and supply closets at every office in this country are being grossly violated on a daily basis. Who knew? Funkhauser, do you ever go in for a little bit of executive relief at work?
What do you mean? Punch the punching bag with the boss's face on it? No.
No.
The other thing? No.
No. Yeah, me either. But apparently we are in the, we're not quite in the minority, but,
gross.
Well, if you're in a room full of 10 men, co-workers,
Whoa,
4 of them,
man. Whoa.
4 of them have done that.
4 out of 10? So the guy across from me right now probably was...
Not this one.
Okay. I
am intensely private. I'm English.
You twist the door to occupied?
I'm English, which means I have a very well built-in, established, hardwired sense of shame and self-consciousness. So this is something that I would never do here in my place of business. Never, ever, ever in a million bazillion years. But apparently, that makes me sort of the exception, not the rule. Apparently, like I said, the bathrooms and supply closets at every office in this country are being grossly violated daily. According to this new survey, 39% of men say they pleasure themselves at work to reduce stress. Stress reduction. I'm very stressed a lot of the time. I think it would add to my stress if I tried to sneak that in at work.
Now I can't look anybody in the eye around here.
Well, certainly can't high-five them anymore. First of all, yeah, right. Reduce stress. Just admit you're a perv who can't wait. And second of all, it's like 2 out of every 5 dudes. What a bunch of jerks. I was going to say, where do these guys get off? But I guess we now know.
You know, sometimes when the soap's not working in there. Who uses all the soap?
I don't know.
And who goes in there when there's no soap left? What do you do then? All of these questions.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hand sanitizer at work.
Does that sign work? You know, employees must wash hands before.
I hand sanitize an awful lot at work, and now I'm going to insist other people do. Like, you want to high five me? Just this is lemony fresh. Go on, this will be all good. All right, Funkhauser. We'll get into Winter Storm Jonas and exactly what happened this past weekend.
Is that what it's called? Jonas?
Jonas, yeah, like the brothers. We'll get into Winter Storm Jonas and exactly what happened and how it resulted in an unfortunate shooting in North Carolina in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. But what is happening in the world?
Well, Sarah Palin has endorsed Donald Trump for president. We've been talking about it.
Yeah. Trump responded by calling Palin fantastic, a total winner. Except when she goes to the bathroom, then she is disgusting. So there you go. I thought he already had it, but if he didn't, this will help Trump lock up the incoherent, gun-toting hillbilly vote. Good for him. I think...
just in case he's got a couple left. He's got a...
Man, I don't know. Hold on. Where did it... Did you see Tina Fey do the Palin impersonation over the weekend?
No, I didn't see it.
It's, man.
It's good.
So good. Like, to the point where I had to do a double take, and I was like, oh, look, they got Sarah Palin to be on Saturday Night Live. Like, she really, really sort of, like, just the mannerisms and you know, the hair and makeup folks really kind of nailed it. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Sarah Palin's on SNL. And then I was like, oh, no, that's, wow. Hey, here,
you got audio
check
there?
This out I believe I do. Hold on a second. Oh, wait, hold on.
Gotta wait 5 seconds.
Gotta wait
click
5
next.
seconds for the... It's like...
While we wait, can I play you Yosemite Sarah Palin?
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Right-wing and bitter, clinging, proud clingers of our guns, our God, and our religions, and our Constitution tell us that we're not red enough. You rock and rollers and holy rollers, I'm in it to win it. Are you ready to make America great again? God bless the United States of America and our next president's Donald J. Trump.
Wonderful with the music behind it, too.
Well, I mean, also, our next president's Donald J. Trump. Like,
United States America?
Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, in all seriousness, I'm not being flippant here. Because, you know, if this was the case, if
what
it was
does flippant
true,
mean?
Jokey, jovial, making light of something. I'm not being flippant here, but is there a chance she had a stroke and we don't know about it? Because, like, if she did, then that's, you know, look at her go. Congratulations for overcoming some odds. If she didn't, what the hell is up with that? Is she like, I don't know. Is she knocking back cough syrup before going on stage? Like, that's
seems to me like a wire's loose up there. A little bit.
You know, like,
might as well say that.
People who speak publicly should be able to, you know, speak. Hold on, here we go.
I'm here because we Americans are struggling. So many of us have lost our jobs at the factory or our reality shows about Alaska. And we've seen our own children targeted by the police for no reason other than they committed some crimes. We turn on the news every morning and are shocked to see we're not even on it because we've been replaced by immigrants like Geraldo Rivera.
She's fun. She just says whatever she wants. It's like her mouth starts driving before her brain gets in the car.
I'm here for all you teachers and teamsters, you farmers and charmers. Whether you're a mom or two broke girls or three men and a baby or a rock and roller, holy roller, pushing stroller, pro bowler with an abscess molar.
She's a firecracker. She's a real pistol. She's crazy, isn't she?
Is what the mainstream media is spinning. Heads are spinning. They say Trump and his trumpeters are right-winging, bitter, clinging, proud clingers of our guns, but he can kick ISIS because he commands fire.
I hope nobody's allergic to nuts because we got a big one here.
You know what's funny though is if you play the actual Sarah Palin clip that Funkhauser brought in back to back with Tina Fey doing her impersonation of Sarah Palin, the real one 20 times more ridiculous. Like, you can't write comedy like this. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if the internet cooperates for a change. Wait.
I belong in a cabinet because I'm full of spice and I got a great rack.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. Funkhauser, what is going on in the world?
North Korea says its scientists have invented an alcohol that doesn't give you a hangover.
You know, it's so funny because a little while ago, I was talking to a friend of mine about drinking, and he was like, oh, it would absolutely change my life if alcohol didn't give you a hangover. I was like, really? Self-medication? You think that? He was like, look, I Uber home, and if I didn't feel like hell, I would drink every single night. Basically, if alcohol wasn't bad for you, I would drink it a lot more than I do. But now, you know, he's like, I can't feel like crap the next day. I kind of have to wait until the weekend and then blow my freaking brains out. And I was just like, you might want to change how you're looking at things and your attitude toward alcohol, because it sounds like you're on a road to no fun. He's like, oh yeah, this is not a good situation, but I'm aware of it and I keep it in control by only really drinking on the weekends. And, you know, it's just, he was just saying, if it didn't come with all the sort of like the headaches and the misery the next day, he would do it a lot more. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Would it change your life, Funkhauser, if there was hangover-free alcohol in this world?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's called water. Drink it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, water doesn't make you feel different.
Well, look,
sort of like
as you're doing it, 2 parts water, 1 part whatever else. You'll be fine.
Oh! You say like you mix your drinks with them.
Double fist it.
Interesting. Oh. Anyways, yeah, you kind of got to question the source a little bit because it's North Korea. North Korea has said that its scientists have invented an alcohol that doesn't give you a hangover. I think during the testing phase, anyone who claimed to have a hangover was waterboarded and shot in the face, or as they call it in North Korea, science. Go on.
Sleeping more on the weekends can help reduce the risk of diabetes.
Wow. Because the longer you sleep, the fewer onion rings you can stuff into your mouth. That makes sense. Go on.
A new study says the least effective password of 2015 was 123456.
Oh, really? Somehow they managed to crack that code? Oh, God. Yeah. Apparently, hackers are finding it easier and easier to circumvent computer security and online security, so they're encouraging folks to be more careful with their passwords. Like Funkhauser said, the least effective password of 2015 was 123456. Most effective password, Bobby Jindal for President 2016. Go on.
A new chocolate-covered fries will go on sale at McDonald's in Japan, January 26th. That's tomorrow.
Chocolate-covered fries.
Let's go.
That happens tomorrow?
Tomorrow. We can make it. Oh, wait. Is it already tomorrow there right now? I think it might be.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, in a related story, this would explain why Chris Christie suspended his campaign for a quick trip. Go on.
People over 65 are not able to detect sarcasm.
Oh.
Well, fancy that.
Interesting. I got to try that with my parents sometime soon. They're like right around 65. I think my dad's a little over, my mom's a little under. But I don't know. They seem to have their sarcasm chip fully operational. I wonder if this is why Hillary still thinks Bill loves her. Go on.
Caitlyn Jenner is writing her memoir.
Yeah, I saw that. That actually could be a very interesting read. I watched. I played Netflix roulette last night, where I'm just like documentary, whatever it lands on. Okay. And
That's
landed
dangerous,
on
by the way.
Right. Well, it doesn't mean I have to stick with it, but it means I'm going to give the first 10 to 15 minutes a try. I don't remember what it was called, but it was you know what? It wasn't on Netflix. It was on Amazon. I don't know if it's on Netflix as well, but it's about intersex people, about people that are born where you can't tell whether they're a male or a female, and you think this condition is unbelievably rare. And it's not. It's like 1 in 2,000 people. So it's a lot more common than you think. And what these folks had to go through, freaking bananas. It's crazy, crazy stuff. Where, they started having sort of genital surgery done to them, being raised as a boy or a girl, forced into a gender role at age like 2, 3, sometimes younger, they started having, and it's crazy. It's crazy because I guess, in this situation, folks don't know what they identify as one way or another, what their preferences are going to be until later on in life. And so to have sort of surgery, and the surgeries they had done, really horrible, awful, invasive things that I can't imagine doing to a child. But, there was a way of thinking that, I don't know, I guess it started coming about in the 50s.
What was that sound?
Oh, who knows?
A new one.
Who knows at this stage in the game? Who effing knows?
New sounds make me nervous.
Yeah, I've got an assessment coming up.
Is that calendar invite there?
No, it's not a calendar invite there, but I figure beating people to a pulp that have come in here and touched the studio.
Probably not a good idea
right before
today.
I go into my assessment, probably not the best move. But yeah, what people had to go through in this situation is just mind-boggling. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. Caitlyn Jenner, when she was Bruce Jenner, I think was a pretty terrible person. And now she's Caitlyn Jenner. Still kind of a terrible person. But any kind of light that can be shed on the experience of people that are not clearly able to fit in a male, female, heterosexual or homosexual box, if they have problems with this sense of identity, the suicide rates are tremendous. And if a book written by Caitlyn Jenner is able to help this problem, well, it can only be a good thing.
On my neck to the base of my skull to the back. By the way, my mind is working like that. My emotion, the control is always shrinking. Soon there will be nothing left at all. My mind is like an empty hull. I want to be calm for help, but all my friends are like a pressure valve. And what I need is salvation and a little bit of patience. Oh, with all the love I have, I'm still alone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. Undecided side with the feelings that are associated with the sad life that I've been bringing. The tears and the singing. Being alive isn't a gift when there's so much you have missed. So little ring true with the words to you by the people you trusted. When it all came down to choosing your ideas, developing your fears. Why wise boys I always blood up the black light. Oh, with all the love I have, I'm still alone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you my musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
You know how you told us the news, Funkhauser, that McDonald's in Japan was going to start serving fries covered in chocolate sauce, and we said that explained why Chris Christie had momentarily suspended his campaign. Comedian Jeff Ross had some interesting words about Chris Christie this past week just gone by.
Oh, did he?
Can we hear
I'd love
this?
to hear about it.
Oh,
Chris Christie, you say?
Oh,
He's running for president, isn't he? He's the fat guy from Jersey.
Oh, God. There's just no way to win. No earthly way to win.
Sometimes the internet just disagrees altogether.
No, hold on. No, there we go.
From New Jersey. When you're from New Jersey, you have to have a great sense of humor because we have the fattest governor in captivity. Have you seen Governor Krispy Kremes? Everywhere I go, people are like, you think Chris Christie's going to run for president? I don't think he can walk for president. How do you fit a round president in an Oval Office? I did a show once and Chris Christie was in the front row. I said I'd be remiss if I didn't first address the elephant in the room.
So messed up.
Which, if you follow American politics, you know that's a fat joke and a Republican joke. Yeah.
You know, I tend to steer away from the low-hanging comedic fruit that is fat jokes. I just don't like doing it. It's not my thing. But let me ask you this, Funkhauser. When you look at a president that is, or a potential president that is clearly overweight, and for the record, I actually kind of like Chris Christie. I feel like he's kind of been negated by the fact that Trump entered the whole sort of political arena the way he did, because Chris Christie was just like, hey, I'm tough, I'm from the tri-state area, I'm an East Coast guy and I take no guff, capiche? You know, that's Chris Christie's line. And then Trump is that on steroids. Trump is that times a million. Trump is that exponentially multiplied. And so, like, nobody cares about Chris Christie anymore because his whole shtick was, well, Donald took a Trump all over him. He's been negated by Donald Trump's entrance into the race. And for the record, I actually kind of like Chris Christie. Not everything about Chris Christie, and there's been there's been some interesting light shed on his integrity with regard to bridges and such. And, you know, I'm not coming out going, I endorse Chris Christie, but I like the guy. I kind of like the guy. And I believe in my heart of hearts that he has that thing that not many politicians do, which is, well, he's got legitimate concern for the public. I think he is truly a public servant. I mean, there's some other stuff in there too, but I think he really does care, and I think that's a great place to start from, whether you're on the right or the left. Do you actually care? Do you give a crap, or are you just trying to hawk a book? And I think he gives a crap. That's just me, not putting that opinion off onto anybody else, but that's how I feel about him. But I do have cause for pause when I look at him. Do you care, Funkhauser, about his weight?
You know, it's kind of alarming. You know, I want the president to live at least 8 years.
Right.
And
yeah.
if you're a fat guy in a little coat, you probably a little harder.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I look at him and I'm like,
but you know, if he wins, just like Hollywood, they'll fix him up.
And you know, also he's younger. You know, it's just like, how old's Chris Christie? Can you Google that real quick? Figure out how old Chris Christie is, because, like, all right, you know, people are sort of saying like, I'm worried that he's fat. I'm worried that every other candidate is old, tremendously old. I mean, Ted Cruz is younger. Rand Paul is younger. Marco Rubio is younger. But there's a lot of people that are getting on in age, you know, sort of like gotten to the stage in the game where they're 2 years younger than God.
He's 53.
He's 53. All right, just 53, honestly, like, if I'm going to pick a sweet spot for a president, you know, like being in your 50s, I think that's good. I think you've done some living. You know what's what. You're settled in who you are.
You know,
I think by your 50s.
60s-year-old presidents make me nervous. Like, do they know how to use a computer?
Well, you know, late 60s presidents, you're looking at a 2-year term, tack on 8 years to that, and you're just like, hey, retirement age is 65 in this country. You know, like, I don't know. Would you rather have an old president or an overweight president?
Given those two options, overweight, I think.
Overweight. Mm-hmm. You can fix.
Yeah, put a team on that fat guy there.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, I wonder, you know, it's interesting. I wonder if that'll happen. Like, if someone like Chris Christie did get voted in, like, the president should be allowed to eat what he wants to eat, but the president can't just, like, go out for a drive and do stuff. He's got a security detail that protects him and protects his best interests at all times. I wonder if they, you know, have a security detail that can, you know,
They're going to have
much sodium, too much salt, too much sugar, too much fat. Like, this is the president. If Chris Christie is elected, he can hire somebody to slap the non-healthy food out of his mouth before he eats it. Go on. What else? What else is going on in the world?
Hold on. I'm not ready for that yet. I'll tell you this, though, real quick. Did you hear that people... No, I told you that. Caitlyn Jenner is writing her memoir. Did I tell you that?
Mm-hmm. We got to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disney is searching for the next Han Solo.
Yeah. I don't feel it. There we go. I don't feel.
I know you can't surprise me with that. I have a lot of buttons to push over here.
That's true.
I got to cue the news orchestra.
Right.
They got to get their instruments up and everything.
They've been working for way under scale for a long time. How are our writers doing? Are they working
you
away?
Want me to check in the room there?
Yeah, let's make sure they're not taking a break.
Okay, hold on here. Let's go ahead and get in there first. Walking in. Oh, okay. There they are. They weren't working at first, but now they are. They see me looking at them.
And it's worth bringing up that we pay them almost nothing. And
almost
look at the
nothing.
hard work. Look at the hard work that the little people are doing. Well, occasional pats on the back and attaboys. They count for something, right? We pay them nothing. And look at them beavering away. We've got our own orchestra. We've got our team of writers.
They're all happy to be here.
Humbled by their... I'm humbled by their unending efforts. Thank you, team of writers. Thank you, Newsbed Orchestra. Go on. What else?
Loop Button.
Yeah. Wait. What? Disney looking for the...
Disney searching for the next Han Solo.
Right. There's got to be a star. And I had a moment of, yes. I had a moment of awesome clarity the other day when I realized that for the next 8 years, there's going to be a Star Wars movie that comes out every single year. Disney's searching for the next Han Solo that's going to play young Han Solo in the next Star Wars movie. I think they want someone who's cocky and who can handle a mangy furball looming over him. So, well, if Trump doesn't make it for president, he's a shoo-in for that.
I guess that I should stop by saying.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
If you are just joining us, we started the show by talking about Palin. Saying some things that many construed as excusing her son's illegal behavior with regard to gun crimes and domestic abuse. Excusing it with his PTSD and blaming that PTSD on Obama. That was the inference. I don't think she was as direct as that, but that's the takeaway for a lot of people. We read a really great letter on the air by a guy called Chris Mark, I think is his name. Yeah, Chris Mark, who is a former U.S. Marine and U.S. Navy officer, seen combat, has a combat in action ribbon. And figured it was better to let him do the speaking with regard to this than me, someone who hasn't seen combat, someone that hasn't had PTSD. But I got a tweet from Roy Shelton who said, "As am I. I'm no veteran, but I know some, and it's a very serious issue, not some political get-out-of-jail-free card." There you go. All right, then. Let's continue with the news, Funkhauser. What else is going on in the world?
Bum, 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 bum. See, this is the low-budget version of the news bed. Peter Gabriel and Sting are going on tour together.
Wait, is the orchestra on a smoke break? What the hell?
Well, you see, you know how we have computer problems on your side? We also have computer problems on my side, and I can't really jump to it real quick.
Is it a company-wide thing?
Wake up the news department. Oh, yeah. Note to self, put this button somewhere else. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Funkhauser. Put the button that tells the orchestra to start playing somewhere else. Go on.
Peter Gabriel and Sting are going on tour together?
I can't wait, said your older cousin who was edgy in the 80s but now works in human resources for Citibank.
Still have the original shirt.
I have never, favorite band of all time, The Police. Oh, sorry. Favorite band of all time, the Beastie Boys. Second favorite band of all time, the Police.
Interesting.
Never got to see the Police play live. Never got to see Sting play live. And a little while back, I was having kind of a rough time, for any number of reasons. And a guy called Rob Skinner at the promotions department in Houston knew how much I love the Police. And he was like, I got something that'll turn your frown upside down. And he hands me a couple of tickets. I was like, oh, wow, the Sting Paul Simon show. And he was like, yeah, front row tickets. I was like, holy crap, that actually is amazing. And, man, that lives in my heart.
You have him singing
still.
Fields of Gold right in front of you?
Lives in my heart still, like, to this day. It's like, I can count the instances where something like that has happened on one hand, where someone has been like, you seem like you're having a hard time. I'm going to do something to help. And even if he gave me something that I had no interest in, just the act of it was really, really cool. It's not something that many people do, and I think more people should do it. And since it happened to me, I try and do it for more people. But whatever the case may be, he gives me these tickets, and I'm like, I'm a Police fan. I also love Sting's solo music, but this is a thing where he goes on stage with Paul Simon, and they play each other's songs, and it's sort of like a dual concert. And I don't know if I'm really going to be into that, but I've always wanted to see Sting, and I had no idea how I would feel about the whole thing. But I go. I'm in my Police T-shirt in the front row, and they come out on stage, and Sting launches into, or they both launch into, but I'm there's kind of two sides to the stage, and I'm right by the Sting side, and launches into Brand New Day, and immediately tears just start streaming down my face. Unbelievable. And was it the way I wanted to see the Police? Was it the way I wanted to see Sting? Maybe not, but it was incredible. And something happened where music sung by a guy that had been the soundtrack to my life hit me, and it bypassed the intellectual, and it bypassed the analytical, and it went straight for my heart. And I couldn't do anything about it, just in tears through most of the concert, through most of it, having problems holding it together, thinking about it now, which sounds ridiculous, but it's so important. It is so important to occasionally do those things that make you feel the feelings, that get you to that place where you're not thinking about things analytically, where you allow your heart to be open and you allow something that's going to reach you deeply do its work. Amazing. So, like, we joke about Peter Gabriel and Sting going on tour together, but I will do everything I can to be at that show. And, you know, people are like, oh, you're in entertainment, you can just pull some strings. Not for stuff like this, you can't.
Do you have a favorite Peter Gabriel song?
I actually really do like Peter Gabriel. I like Peter Gabriel a lot.
Yeah, me too.
That So album's really good. I love the song Red Rain. I think that's beautiful.
That's the one. There you go.
It's a beautiful song, but like, I think the thing, he did a cover of that song Book of Love by Magnetic Fields.
Oh,
oof, that'll get you.
Yeah, I heard
that'll
that one too.
get you.
Google that if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, if you haven't heard it yet, that's again, that's something that'll bypass everything that you're going through.
Get out the box of Kleenex.
Yeah, totally. Allow yourself some time. You know, if you've got headphones, do it. Close the door. Put on Peter Gabriel, and let it wash over you. His cover of the Magnetic Fields Book of Love. It really, really is something. But yeah, I mean, like, I like Paul Simon fine. You know, like no problem with it. That whole Graceland album is incredible from start to finish. But, you know, seeing Peter Gabriel and Sting do that show together, that's something that I think I would be very interested in seeing, along with your older cousin who was edgy in the 80s and now works in human resources for Citibank. Go on, what else?
Oh, so much more. Oh, look at this. The WWE reportedly asked Hulk Hogan to appear in WrestleMania 32. Yeah. It's
kind of a controversy because, you know, look, what happened was Hulk Hogan, unbeknownst to him, made a sex tape with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, that radio guy, right? Is this the story, Funkhauser?
Yeah.
I'm sure the people that are listening on Real Radio in Orlando will be intimately familiar with the story. But
yeah, tweet us and tell us what we are leaving out.
Yeah, because like we saw it from afar, but you saw this unfold. And anyway, so Bubba made a Hulk Hogan sex tape where he was boinking his wife, and unbeknownst to Hulk, so he didn't know he was being recorded, and so like he said and did some stuff that he shouldn't have said and done with regard to using the N-word, and After that came out, he was like erased from the history of the WWE. There was no mention of him on the website. Like, he was, I guess, stripped of all of his titles and all this sort of stuff. And now, just like a hop, skip, and a jumps time later, the WWE is asking Hogan to appear in WrestleMania 32. I guess all is forgiven. Yeah. What do you think, Funkhauser? You think he's going to do it?
Sure. Money. Cha-ching.
See, I think he's going to say no, but only because he loves using N-words so much. Go on.
Odd makers say Sarah Palin's endorsement boosts Donald Trump's chances of winning the White House by 5%.
Yep. And people are saying that the endorsement from Palin boosts Donald Trump's chances of becoming our next president by 5%. Unfortunately, they boost Hillary Clinton's chances by 500%, but potato. Go on. What else?
After endorsing Donald Trump on Tuesday, Sarah Palin failed to show up for a scheduled campaign event yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I think Palin probably missed the event due to her busy schedule of quitting things before they're finished. Half-term governor, go on.
Sarah Palin says her son, Track, has PTSD.
Yeah, we opened the show with this. I don't want to make light of. I do not want to make light of the idea of PTSD at all. But I know some folks with PTSD that have never been veterans. They've just been in weird, abusive situations. And I wonder if you can get PTSD from having Sarah Palin as a mother. Like, just know that. I'm not trying to be flippant. I want to be real here. I mean, look, first and foremost, I think we've established on the show that you never have an excuse to hit a woman. PTSD is not an excuse to hit a woman. And so the PTSD is neither here nor there when it comes to being a mitigating circumstance for his alleged domestic abuse. But I wonder, like, the Palin family, that seems to be a lot of crazy train. It seems to be a lot of flux. It seems to be a lot of uncertainty. Sarah Palin seems to be able to change her mind about what she's going to be doing in the direction her family's taken on a dime with no warning to anyone around her. She just goes ahead and does things. And I wonder how that affects someone growing up. It's just like the idea of having a bit of an unstable home. Like, I get that they had a home, but like, it's like the child of an alcoholic. You never really know what's going to be happening and I'm not implying that Sarah Palin's an alcoholic, but when you're a kid that grows up with constant uncertainty, that can really affect you long term. And I do have some friends that suffer from PTSD thanks to their situation growing up. And it's not really fair to go into it, but people that basically grew up never really knowing that things were okay. People that grew up not having like stability and certainty in their lives, not being sure what kind of mood their parents were going to come home in, not sure if it was going to be a good or bad day, not sure if they were going to be hiding under the bed when their parents came home. These are folks that I know that suffer from PTSD, have had great success in treating this PTSD, by the way, with transcendental meditation, interestingly enough, something that's being taught to veterans left, right, and center. But I just wonder if the uncertainty of growing up in the Palin household has contributed in any way to any PTSD he may or may not have. What else?
The average Facebook user... Oh, did I tell you about Sarah Palin's son, Track? He was arrested for punching and kicking his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yep.
The average Facebook user can only count on 3 or 4 friends to help them in a time of crisis.
Yeah, it was interesting. I take a moment and think about all your friends on Facebook. Think about all of your friends on Facebook. And then narrow it down to the people that you actually hang out with, are friendly with, see in person on a regular basis. Are you picturing them? It's a smaller number, right? Now, go a little bit deeper. I want you to think about the people that are your friends that you could really count on when the chips were down. Apparently, that's a short list. For most people, that's 3 or 4 friends. Initially, I thought, not me. I posted that I had a headache yesterday, and 86 people typed prayers under my status. I'm taken care of. But here's the thing. It's not the case. You only have like a very small number of people that are going to be there with you through thick and thin when the chips are down, when you need them. And I want you to think of those people now. And I want you to maybe think about how much they mean to you and how important they are to you and how valuable it is to have them in your life. Because a friend like that, as has been discovered in this study, is a rare thing, maybe even more rare than we thought. I spent some time doing this the other day and actually wound up feeling really, really lucky to have these folks in my life, and called 1 or 2 of them and thanked them for it. And Well, to the people that I didn't thank for it, thank you, Funkhauser. Go on, what else?
You're welcome. Well, in our last minute of broadcast today, the Northeast is still bracing for a major snowstorm. Jonas.
Yeah. They dealt with what happened with Jonas this past weekend just gone by, and allegedly there might be another one on the way. That's unfortunate. Although you got to take the news with a grain of salt, seeing as it came from everybody's favorite weathercaster, Steve Harvey. Go on.
We have made a mistake. Two government science agencies say 2015 smashed 2014's record to become the hottest year ever recorded.
Yeah, but how can there be global warming when it's snowing on the East Coast? Republicans were quick to point out that neither of those agencies have the Ten Commandments posted anywhere, so how the heck are we supposed to trust them? Answer, we're not. Have yourself an awesome one. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this all over again.